Well, the Texas Board of Education is planning to vote on proposed social studies curriculum standards that would erase references to religion and patriotism for school children's textbooks. Joining me now to talk about the outrageous possibility is the founder and the president of Liberty Counsel, Matt Staver. Matt, good to have you back here on the Huckabee Show.
Good to be here.
Now, our mutual friend David Barton is one of the folks who's been very involved in the textbook issues there for a long time, and I know that he's involved. I want you to explain, how can the Texas Board of Education have the power to change textbooks really all over the entire country? Why does this matter to the rest of us?
Well, the reason why it matters to the entire country is because typically it's been Texas and California, the two biggest textbook purchasers in the country, that really dictate the rest of the country. Whatever textbooks they select then affects the rest of the country, because the publishers publish those kinds of books and the rest of the country follows. Now, California, because of budget crisis for the last several years, they haven't been able to purchase new textbooks. So the default is Texas. So now it's the 800-pound gorilla on textbooks. So when this 15-member board, 8 people of that will make a majority, make a decision, it'll affect the entire nation.
It's amazing that 8 people in Texas essentially are going to determine what some kid in maybe South Carolina is going to study in history. Give me some examples of some of the issues that are going on that are a concern to many of us.
Well, some of them are taking Nathan Hale, for example, who was one of the first spies. He's actually somebody who was killed because of his patriotism. He's now has a statue in Connecticut as Connecticut's hero. His statue is on the CIA's Langley, and they want to remove him and replace him with the person who invented firemen's helmets. Now, you probably don't know who that person is.
I don't.
I don't either, but they're replacing this historic figure with the person who invented it.
Not that there's anything wrong with firemen's
helmets. No, I mean, that's a great invention, but it just simply didn't affect history like Nathan Hale. Columbus Day is proposed to be removed.
Any mention of it at all?
No, and the Independence Day, the 4th of July, is proposed to be out of the textbooks. Christmas be removed and replaced with Diwali, and of course that's going to be very important.
Whoa. Tell me that again. I'm absolutely amazed. Tell me, Christmas is going to be replaced what?
Christmas would be removed from the textbooks and replaced with another holiday called Diwali. Now, most people don't know what that's about.
That's one of the reasons I asked you to repeat that. I don't know what in the world.
It falls in the same category as the fireman's helmet. You know, it's really putting trivial things in there and really removing our religious heritage and history and the patriotic history. No longer will you have American citizen. You'll have, in fact, global citizen. And in fact, free enterprise, those kinds of things, those are no good anymore. And America's looked at not as some country that gave liberty and freedom to others around the world, but as a global villain. And so that's kind of how this textbook proposal is being proposed from a committee. And so this group of 15 people will be voting on it. And Cynthia Dunbar actually is one of those 15, and she's the real champion. She's actually a professor at Liberty University School of Law, and so she's a strong voice for just solid common sense, but there's 7 others that need to be convinced of the right vote on this important matter.
How is it looking? Does it look like it could tilt where we rewrite American history?
You know, it's still hanging in the balance, and so I think people around the country really need to be concerned about this, because these textbooks literally would take things like the Declaration of Independence and ellipsize out, just erase God, the very essence of the preamble, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those things would be removed. And so a lot of the history, particularly religious history or patriotic history, American exceptionalism, all of that will simply be removed if people around the country don't speak up and the other 7 people that are there, of the 15, make the right decision.
You know, Matt, I don't tend to be an alarmist, but this alarms me, that we would rewrite American history and that we would be so afraid to let people know who we are as a nation, that we are a nation where people have historically understood that the American exceptionalism is in large measure due to the providence of God. Now, I believe that, and whether other people don't believe it, I'm willing to debate it, but I'm not willing to ignore it. And that's seemingly what we're doing. I want to thank you for being here. Let's keep the conversation. When Texas makes this decision, we need to report back to the people and let them know.
Thank you. We'll have more information to update people on our website at lc.org, so people around the country can actually make their voices heard on this important national matter.
Fantastic. lc.org to get in more information and to make your voice heard. And I hope you will, because this does affect all kids everywhere, every state, not just Texas.